Okay, YouTubers, Red Razor 56 here on another edition of replacing the front Hilliard brand demand drive front gear case. I know a lot of guys call it a differential, and it's everything but a differential because the input is directly related to the output to both axles when the device is doing what it was designed to do. What we have here is the old one, 5,000 miles off of 2009. Here's the new one, 0 miles. It just came out of the cardboard box. Okay, nothing that $1,050 won't get you straightened up on. And the reason I'm replacing this is we've had a couple of issues. Number one, every time I drain the oil, and I'm doing it every couple of 100 miles, way ahead of schedule, I'm getting milky colored oil, so I know water's getting into the system. Check the vent hose that goes up. It's secure and in one piece. Where I think my problem occurred is this bearing has worn back here, and I'm going to move it up and down. I'm going to try to get a side shot of that hole, and it's very difficult to tell from the video, but I'm moving that thing up and down about 60 thousandths of an inch, and that ain't good. In the sides, I'm getting a lot of clunking in the front end. In the sides, I noticed the splines. Let me put a light on it in there. Splines are definitely worn. Difficult to tell. I don't know if they're called the involutes or whatever, but it would be like the tops of the splines, the top of the tooth, are decidedly worn down, whereas the new one that came in, the tops of the splines, and that would be, let's see if I can put a light here. Naturally 75-foot cord, and it's only got 6 inches left. Okay, this part of the spline right here, that would be the innermost part of the spline towards the center of this axle right here, where the axle is going to go. Those teeth are flat across, and I know, and I've got a spare axle here. This is an axle that I replaced maybe prematurely, thinking I had issues in the front end, but yet this bearing seems to be very, very tight here. I don't have any play in that right there, but this is where my water's been getting in right here. And when you add a worn out drive shaft to it, which here's the drive shaft right here, I've got that in another video, but you add this little bit of slop on the splines there to the slop on the splines here, and this is a pretty good picture right here. Wish I could go macro on the camera, but I'm too stupid to live. These splines are definitely beat. There is no doubt about it that these splines are beat right here on the end. I'm not going to do plastic gauge or clay mold or anything like that and try to measure it out. I just don't have time for it. I'm trying to get back together for a ride tomorrow. But when we compare that to the spline ends on the new shaft here, these are true from the inner edge all the way out to the tip right here. These splines are the exact same diameter. There might be a 25 thousandths chamfer right here to help you line up the front yoke when you slide it on there, just so you don't have a straight edge to deal with. But these here, definitely worn down. Add the slop right here to the slop that we have in this right here. You can see it pretty good right there. And you add that to the slop of the front U-joint, and this thing sounded like a, oh man, it sounded like a thrashing machine when we were doing really heavy duty climbs, off camber, off articulation, things like that. I was really starting to get concerned that we were going to have a total failure on the trail. So there she is, the new Hilliard drive, front demand drive, Polaris Razor, being ready to get installed into the front of the machine. And I'll do a final update after I get the brand new drive shaft hooked up, and we'll go from there. Red Razor 56 saying live to ride another day.